Hey, friends, welcome back to another episode of Going Nuclear. I'm here with a very special guest. His name is Kota Kawai. He is from Japan, and he is the president of Japan's Young Generation in Nuclear community. So, welcome, Kota.
Thank you very much for inviting me today, Osama. Yeah, I'm very happy to take an interview from you today.
It's my pleasure, Kota. So, I know, I know there's a lot of energy in the Japanese nuclear energy industry. It's getting revitalized, reactors restarting. Um,
Mhm.
tell me about the young generation in Japan, the young generation community that you're leading. Tell us a little bit about the Japan YGN. What's it
Mhm.
like? How's the industry looking like in Japan so far?
So there are, as Osama introduced me, I'm currently in charge of the president of the Young Generation Network in Japan, and so actually it consists of around 20 committees uh, from the various companies. And for example, one of them will be from the electric power company and the manufacturing company, and also think tank as like me, and so on. And as you might know, there are actually this year, Japanese government has a big decision for the nuclear industry. So it is, nuclear energy is a necessity to achieve the carbon neutral, and also they will be seeking for the opportunity to construct the nuclear power plant. However, the for the Japanese nuclear engineer or professionals, the still we have not we don't have the clear image how to achieve the new construction of the nuclear power plant. That is the current situation. So far, now at first, Japan nuclear industry is aiming to restart the nuclear power plant. Still, around 20 power plants is under the shutdown now. So at first we have to construct some high wall for the tsunami, and also the other severe accident, uh, you know, equipment. We construct it, we prepare it, and we are, you know, conducting the much effort on the restarting now. So that is our current status in Japan's nuclear industry.
That's great. It's great to know that that momentum is starting to build again, right? You're seeing that revitalized interest.
Yes.
Tell me about the young generation in
Mhm.
Japan. Is there an increase in students studying nuclear engineering?
Yeah.
Is there maybe international companies that are coming to Japan
Mhm.
to provide services? How's that looking like?
Yeah. Okay. So there are about the young engineer at first. Uh, I think it's not so much change in these 10 years. So the actually even the student studied nuclear engineering, but some of them uh, chose to enter in the non-nuclear industry. So that is a very high portion, and new, Japanese government and also nuclear industry is taking care of that recently. And now Japan nuclear industry and our Japanese government is cooperating to establish the network for the human resource development, especially for the students. That is called ANEC, ANEC. and all function and all human resource development event is gathering in that network currently, and we provide that lecture to students in the one platform. That is the first concept, and also one more good news is now from this year, Japanese government uh, put the huge budget on the development of the high temperature gas cool reactor and also the fast reactor as well. So the at first we conduct the just you know how can I say the conceptual design, and after several years we will decide we will move forward or not. That is kind of the syndicate. I mean the milestone. And however, such new action of the Japanese government and the Japanese industry, nuclear industry, uh, will provide new insight for the nuclear industry to the students. So Japan YGN decided to go to the university which has the nuclear energy department in this year. So this year that we will have the plan to visit the three university and one high school to know the real situation, what students think, and what students consider or have the how can I say anxiety for the nuclear industry. So now we are catching up on that. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. One sec. Yeah, it's great. It's great to know that that you're the Japan YGN, Young Generation Nuclear, is on the ground and in being engaged with schools and different universities. It's really interesting to see that you're collecting that data, right? Um,
Yes.
tell tell me about foreigners working in Japan,
Hmm.
right? I know
Yeah.
I know a lot of foreigners. Like I had the chance to visit Japan last year
Hmm.
for the IYNC conference. I think
Yes.
Japan YGN Kota, you did an incredible job, you and your team, with
Thank you.
that bringing together the young generation nuclear community.
Hmm.
And it was phenomenal. I think a lot of people fell in love with the country and the culture. Tell me about the opportunities for foreigners in
Hmm.
Japanese nuclear industry. Do you see foreigners in the industry a lot, or just for maybe some work, like some contract work for vendors? What's that like?
Yeah. Actually, honestly speaking, I think the rate one. So I mean, some very specific field to for the foreign engineer and researcher to get the job in Japan. So, for example, if you seek your job at Japan, I highly recommend you to go to the Japan Atomic Energy Agency (JAEA) to find a job. So it's much more open, I think, for the foreigner because in Japan, the every document should be written in Japanese. That is a very very high, high hurdle, high high challenge, yeah, big challenge for the foreigner. And one was my friend. He's from the Slovakia. Uh, so he's currently working at the TEPCO, Tokyo Electric Power Company, and he is engaging for the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station decommissioning. And yeah, he also entering the pressure control vessel to take the photo and something like that. So the actually there is some of the case which the foreign people is contributing on the nuclear industry, but it's not major, I think. So, and one more way to work to have the relationship with the nuclear Japan nuclear industry is, since Mitsubishi Heavy Industry and Hitachi and Toshiba has a cooperation and relationship with the other countries manufacturing company. For example, for the Hitachi GE and Mitsubishi Heavy Industry with the problem and so on. So the and also currently the Toshiba Westinghouse there are no relationship, but in the past they are. So the such we have the relationship between the other country. Yeah. So I think you can find a job at the JEA or some of the other countries. That's a bit better, in my opinion.
Okay, definitely a really cool. In the description below, I'll maybe post a link to JEA careers
Yeah.
page, and that's really interesting. That's good to know that those are some of the avenues and opportunities available. Tell me about the language barrier, right? Like I know in
Mm-hmm.
Japan,
Mm-hmm.
100% everything's in Japanese. Like you said, all the documentation's in Japanese. Do you
Mm-hmm.
see the Japanese companies now with nuclear becoming more globalized? Um, do you see Japanese companies starting to embrace a little bit of English documentation, or getting experts like yourself who can speak and communicate in English, but also
Mm-hmm.
communicate in Japanese?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So that is still big challenge in Japan, I believe, and because if we look into the Japanese economical situation, actually that is huge compared to the other country. So Japan is still big, has a big GDP, and even if we look into only Japan, we can earn the money. So that is uh, biggest problem I think. Why Japan is not looking into the other country, and also why the Japan is focusing on the Japanese language is since we have a strong since nuclear industry has a strong relationship with the government, almost all the documents should be written in the mother language. It's Japanese. So that is also the big challenge in Japan, and also the every how can I say regulatory document also should be written in Japanese. So that is a big challenge. So I think in such sense, the in the research field there are some of the possibility for the foreigner to work, but in the practical stage, that it's much more difficult compared to the research stage. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. I'm like in the world I'm seeing trends where, Canada, we're working with Poland, right? We're also working with the US, we're working with different countries. Different countries are kind of collaborating, working together.
Yes.
And do you what about Japan? Are you seeing the Japanese kind of look out elsewhere as well? I know you mentioned Westinghouse and a few other vendors. Are you
Mhm.
seeing the country kind of open up a little bit to other to working together with other companies or other
Mhm.
countries as well?
Mhm. Okay. So the shortly saying, Japanese nuclear industry is always synced to the other country. For example, in the case of the UAE, Baraka nuclear power plant, the Toshiba or the other manufacturing company also, providing the equipment. For example, a large component and so on. So since Japan can provide the high quality technology, we always cooperate to build to the or improve or to how can I say, the install the new equipment. And also, in the case of the Poland, the currently JEA has a strong collaboration to develop the high temperature or reactor. And also, currently we are working with UK as well. So there are many collaboration projects uh, between Japan and other country. Yeah. However, as compared to the, for example, the South Korea and other country, the we are still much focusing on the domestic side as compared to the other country. Yeah, that is what I want to say.
Kota, from your perspective, if you were to give just someone internationally an overview of Japan as a whole, the island of Japan, where are where is the industry? Um, there's nuclear reactors across the
Yes.
country, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
tell me a bit about like some of the new nuclear build projects and like
Mhm.
where are they situated in the country, and just
Mhm.
to get people a little bit of flavor of what's going on in the country.
Okay. So the actually now is that we have the one discussion, not project, to build the new power plant. That is Fukui Prefecture, Mihama Nuclear Power Station. That is actually middle of the middle and the north of Japan. And so since in the Mihama Nuclear Power Station, there are power plants, three nuclear power plants there. However, it's very old, and it's gonna be the shut down. And so, as considering, you know, local uh, economy, and also it's necessary to consider to discuss what should be in the future. So now we start to discuss about the also possibility to construct a new nuclear power plant there as well. Yeah. So that is maybe an answer for your first question. In Japan, since Japan is a very small country, the Japanese nuclear industry is spreading to the it's dispersed into the Japanese island. However, if I say, of course, Tokyo and Ibaraki prefecture, or that is Hitachi headquarters is there, and of course Osaka, and nearby Osaka there is a Kobe. There is a Mitsubishi Heavy Industries headquarters. So this you know Osaka, Kobe, Tokyo, and Ibaraki, there is three big nuclear industry valley, if I say, yeah.
We were discussing this a little bit before, but I'd love to talk to you about it again.
Mhm.
It's large reactor build versus small modular reactor, right?
Yeah,
So a lot
yeah.
of countries in the world, like Canada and many other European countries looking toward nuclear, they want
Mhm.
to go small, right? But
Mhm.
my question to you is why is Japan focused on large nuclear build?
Yeah. Okay. So let me start to talk from the why SMR is advanced. So in my opinion, the first uh, advantage is uh, small power output in terms of the power grid. Second advantage is small initial investment cost. And third one is, of course, safety. And so if we look at these 3 points in terms of the Japanese view, first one, for the grid, the actually we have the very matured grid in Japan, and since the Japan is a small country, the you know as like Canada and so on, there are no power grid shutdown area. So that's why from the first point that we don't need to focus on the SMR equipment so much. As the second point, uh, initial investment cost, that is very huge issues for us as well. So that's why now Japan is starting to develop the SMR as well. And for the third point, safety, of course, that is the most important point since we had our very big accident in the 2011. However, after the 2011, March 11th, we conducted the countermeasure for the severe accident so much. And of course, for the generation 3 plus reactor, in the it's the large conventional reactor, but it's more advanced reactor. We have the much countermeasure for the safety, and that safety level is quite high, we believe. Of course, we have to conduct the experiment on that, but we believe that the safety level is measured much more. So that's why the Japanese industry is focusing on the large conventional reactor rather than the SMR so far. Yeah, so and also we have the very major supply chain for the large reactor. So if we construct the SMR, it takes some time to achieve that. So that we can now focusing on the large reactor. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense that the country has a great transmission grid lines, and building those large reactors, get those megawatts on the grid as soon as possible. That does seem like the more pragmatic approach, the best optimal approach. And so, my next question is, let's talk about reactor types, right?
Mm.
And Japan, we know Japan has some of the most reactor type popular type is boiling water reactor, right? The
Yes.
BWR.
Yeah.
So tell me about the future of Japanese new build. Is it gonna look like advanced boiling water reactor? Is it gonna
Mhm.
Are they gonna embrace other reactor type? What are your thoughts on this?
Okay. So in the beginning of this interview, I explained that we still have the over 20 reactors which is under shutdown, and that is mainly BWR type. So the PWR type reactor is the you know oh, how can I say? So the regulatory process of the PWR is was advanced in compared to the PWR, because in the uh, in light of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power stations accidents, the countermeasure for the PWR, we have to install the uh, ventilation filtering systems. It takes time. So that's why the PWR is advanced. And in such sense, I think the PWR, APWR should be, shall be advanced compared to the APWR at first. But we already construct the APWR in the past in Japan in the 2000, yeah. in the 21st century. So we already have the experience on that. Yeah. So from now, APWR should be first, but we also have the experience to build the APWR so that we can build both, I think.
Very nice. That's really good. That's really good. I know Japan has like a world record in building the advanced boiling reactor 2 units in
Yeah.
world breaking time. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about how does Japan do it? How do they build so fast?
Yeah. So actually, there are I have not much knowledge information about that. I'm sorry, but I think that you want to know about the Japanese their customs. Uh, so yeah, actually, the you know most of the foreign people says the Japanese people is working so hard and so on, and it's true. We should you know we should keep and we should contribute the nuclear. I mean, we hope nuclear power contributes our energy as soon as possible. So Japanese people will work hard to achieve that, I think. And also, the since Japan has the much experience to construct the nuclear power plant, we had the very nice project manager there at the time. So currently, Japanese government is, kind of have the anxiety to inherit that the skill and knowledge as a project manager to the new generation. So there are some of the project to convey such a knowledge to the new generation. However, new nuclear power plant construction project is necessary, yeah, in the practical case. So that's why we are uh, discussing the new construction project very seriously. Yeah,
Great, that's phenomenal. It's great to know that that Japanese work ethic, right? It really is the advantage for the industry there, right? Because I know in a lot of countries right now, um, nuclear projects aren't necessarily happening on time, right? And the international community is saying, "Oh, nuclear is not good because look how expensive it is, and look how many, cost overrun." But it's like you said, it's a project management issue, right?
yeah, yeah,
First unit, it's gonna take time, but then unit two, unit three, unit four, it will be faster, right? Because the project management process it's more efficient. Tell me about in the area of project management, a lot of methodology is Japanese methodology, right? Like Kaizen, right? Tell me a little
uh,
about the history of that.
yeah. Actually, I don't know in that point because I'm working at the think tank company. It's a consulting company. So if I'm working in the, for example, construction company and manufacturer company, I can give some points on that, but unfortunately, I'm not. However, I just want to say that in Japan, if we construct the nuclear power plant, there are one manufacturer company and one big construction company, uh, cooperate together. For example, for the manufacturing company like the Mitsubishi Heavy Industry or Hitachi and the Toshiba has a cooperation with the construction company like the Kajima and so on, Kajima, Taisei, Shimizu, something like that. So, for example, in the case of the United States, you have the like the how can I say ACOM.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, like that. So the since this uh you know since this relationship between the manufacturing company and the consulting company is very strong, that they can manage the big project. Yeah,
Vendor and the
yeah, yeah.
construction vendor, they have a really
Yes,
good
yes,
relationship, and
yeah,
then
right.
because of that they're able to like work together. That's
Yes.
interesting. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's very, very, very interesting to know. So, one more question I have for you. So with
Fukushima,
Fukushima,
yes,
yeah. So
yes,
with
yes.
the Fukushima
Mm-hmm.
water, the treated water release into the
Yeah.
ocean,
Mm-hmm.
everyone in the industry knows it's safe practice. It happens
Yes.
everywhere across the world.
Yeah.
Not a major issue or a
Mm-hmm.
threat. It's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tell me about the communication that
Mm-hmm.
the Japanese young generation nuclear is doing to educate the local communities. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. Actually, we don't have any efforts on that. I mean, we don't educate the local people as a YGN activity because uh, that is Japanese government issue and
Hmm.
also typical issue.
Oh, interesting.
Of course, that we should communicate the some local people. Of course, if it's necessary, but already typical and the Japanese government they are doing much on that. So and also we should be one big rock to convey to or to tell the fact on that. So and if typical's approach and the I mean the Japanese government approach and the local government approach seems not good, we also should do something. But in my view, it's very very good. It's wonderful. I want to say. So that's why I don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. However, in the case of the IYLC, I wanted to invite there are distinguished international engineer and professionals to show what we do because of course Japanese government and typical provides many information to the abroad, but it's very limited. And since IONC is a very, very big platform to share the knowledge and the skills, I thought that is very, very good opportunity for us to discuss what we conduct with international people. So that's why even we don't do any action to educate or to tell about the water treated water release issues to the local government. But we wanted to invite INC to the Fukushima at the last year.
Definitely, definitely. It's good to know that there's effective outreach and outreach happening with TEPCO with the government. That's a really positive note. What are some of the main things that Japanese people are interested in when it comes to nuclear energy? What is the Japanese young generation nuclear mandate focused on in terms of communication for public?
Yeah, thank you very much. So actually, last year that I discussed this point with the YGN committees, and I think that what YGN should do is communicating with the high school students or junior high school student or the university student now because uh, since 2011, 12 years was passed. 12 years. So if we look at the university students, they they were like the 12 years or yeah 10 years old, just 10 years old. So they don't know much about the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station's accidents. And of course, for me, I was 12, just 20 years old, so I was not studying for the nuclear. But it was a wonderful opportunity for us, for YGN, for current YGN committee, to think what we want to study. So that's why that we chose to study the nuclear energy, nuclear engineering, and now we are working at the nuclear industry. So, and currently we are working as a company, and there are many veterans, boss, and we are listening that there are willingness, there are, you know, their passion, their thinking for the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station accident. We know their view. So from now, we have to inherit such passion, such think to the new generation. And since we are young, we easy. It's very easy for us to discuss with the new generation. So that is our next, uh, challenge to to talk with the new generation. Yeah, so that is our yeah how can I say responsibility
Very nice.
as a YGN. Yeah.
Very nice. That's very good. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the discussion. It's really good to, um, good to learn more about the Japanese nuclear industry and also
Hmm.
the efforts that you're leading with the young generation of nuclear.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this conversation. Is there any last thing that you'd like to share with the audience,
Hmm.
Kota? The 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 platform is yours.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So the last year, the JYGM has one big international symposium in addition to the INC. That is the Asian Nuclear Symposium. So we designed that symposium, and we have there are actually over 300 people, participants, and most of them is from the Indonesia and the Philippines. So that's why you see now the Philippines and Indonesia's nuclear engineer is very has a high motivation for the nuclear safety and of course security and safeguards. I think so. For now, we should have the much collaboration between them. We cannot conduct such activity this year, but I want to do that. And of course, JYGM's biggest philosophy is share the knowledge and the skills between the Japanese people. So we have the seminar. Of course, it's a Japanese seminar, but we have the seminar maybe the 4 times per year, and with many variety topics like for example, media. What is the media? And of course, for example, junior high school education in terms of the radiation education, and of course, nuclear engineering issues as well. For example, nuclear fuel and so on. So yeah, we are conducting such the Japanese seminar, but we also want to collaborate with other countries YGN. So we are very happy to get the offer from you, and we also want to do offer in the future. Yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely, and I think definitely the global community would love to work with you guys. Great nation, great organization, and the work that you guys are doing. So really appreciate your time, Kota. Thank you so much.
Thank
Um,
you very much, Osama. Yeah.
thank you.